Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Thomas Few Sr., and welcome to the channel. If this is your first time here, I just want to encourage you to go ahead and hit that subscribe button. We're going to be putting out new content, fresh content on a regular basis. So I want to make sure that you're getting notifications and updates every time that we drop something new. So again, welcome to the channel, and we're glad to have you here. But today I wanted to talk a little bit about a really big topic that really impacts a lot of us and really anything that we try to do in life, but especially when it comes to money, right? And that's your mindset, having the proper money mindset. And what kind of prompted this is, I had posed a question, I was on Facebook, and posed a question just about, if people's conditions, when it comes to being poor, having a poor mindset and also being economically poor, does that come down to more of your circumstances that you were dealt in life, or is it more about the lack of education, lack of, access to education and resources or things like that that could potentially change those people's circumstances? And, we had all kind of different perspectives, and I love it. I love the dialogue. I love talking to people about, these different topics, because everybody comes from different backgrounds. Everybody has different experiences, and everybody has, a different opinion, about the topic based upon their circumstances and their situation. It was just interesting, when I have these conversations. It's always interesting when I have these conversations that some people, you can just tell they just have a broken mindset when it comes to life. They've been beat up. They've been beat down. They've been put through the ringer. And at this point, they thrown their hands up and said, forget it. I'm just gonna blame everybody else and everything else and say it has nothing to do with me. I'm not gonna take any responsibility or accountability. And it's the system that messed me up. It's this that messed me up. It's that messed me up. And sometimes you just can't win. That's people's mindsets out here. And that just hurts. When I hear somebody talk like that and I hear their mindset when it comes to these things, it drives me crazy, because I know just by simply starting to shift your mindset that you can change so many things in your life when you start thinking differently. Like, everything that you do in life starts in your mind, it starts in your brain, it starts with a thought. And that thought drives what comes after, which is typically your actions. So if you typically have negative thoughts, it's going to drive the way that you operate and the things that you do and the decisions that you make in life. And when we look at our life is just our life is basically the sum of the decisions that we've made up until this point, until we got here. So all your past decisions, things that you've decided to do, actions that you've taken, have got you to the point where you're at today. Whatever spot you're standing in right now today, your previous decisions are the reason that you're there. It's not based upon external circumstances that, some of that has an impact. It may have, impacted, how you got there. But at the end of the day, you made the decisions that got you there, and you have to start taking accountability for those decisions and owning that, and owning why you are where you are and why you are how you are at this point in time. But what do you do when you're you want to make a change? You're ready for a change, right? You want to shift you truly are ready to a shift in your mindset, and you want to start doing things differently. Well, here, what I'm going to go through today is 7 steps that you can go through that are going to help you to shift your mindset. And we're going to talk about shifting money mindsets today, as far as our thoughts, our attitudes about money, and how that's going to help us as far as moving forward when it comes to the topic and subject of money, right? So number 1, you got to actually sit down and reflect on your beliefs. So sit down and think about, where did my beliefs come from? Did it come from my upbringing? Did it come from my parents, my grandparents, my friends, my family? Why do I think the way that I do about money? Actually sit down and think about that. Like, where your thoughts come from? And I want you to actually write down all of the negative thoughts right now that you have about money. Just dump them out, put them out there. Just get them out the way. Like, get all those negative thoughts that creep in your head. Like, man, that, every time you think about money, like, man, there's not enough of it. Man, it's scarce out. It's hard out here. Man, I can't figure out ways to make more of it. Man, I can't pay my bills. Or I can't, I can't. Just that word. I can't. Throw all of that out there and start laying it down. Write it down on a piece of paper, right? The next thing, step 2, is I want you to do all of those negative beliefs that you threw out there. I want you to start challenging those beliefs. And what I mean by challenging those beliefs is I want you to actually go through the process for every negative belief that you found. I want you to go out and find a positive example of somebody, someone, something that was able to overcome that particular obstacle. So if you were born into poverty, I want you to go out and look for examples of people who were born into poverty that somehow were able to push through and figure out a way to overcome it. If you're African American in this country and you know the systemic racism that took place, I want you to find an example of somebody else that looks like you that overcame that systemic racism and still were able to accomplish their goals and do what they needed to do when it came to money, right? So go out and find some actual examples that basically go against whatever you've already been believing. So I want you to see some real true to life examples of people that have been able to overcome what you feel like is a blocker or something that's stopping you from doing what you need to do as far as moving forward. Now, after you've gone through the process of, finding examples to overcome your limiting beliefs, that's all they are, is these are blockers in your mind that you're telling yourself that, hey, I can't do this because of this. That's a limiting belief, right? So you figured out, saw some examples that said, hey, somebody out there has figured out something that I don't know, right? Somebody out there has figured out how to get past this belief and they were able to overcome it, right? So the next thing you want to do is you got to go out and educate yourself, right? You got to invest your time and resources into financial education. You got to learn how the system works. You got to learn how to operate within it, how to leverage it properly so that you can begin to win in the system versus sitting around and complaining about a system that, quite honestly, we're not going to see change in our lifetime, right? The system is what it is what we have to deal with. If we're going to stay in this country, we're going to have to learn to operate within the system and do what we need to do, or figure out what we need to do to actually thrive in this system and stop surviving and just getting by, right? So go out and start educating yourself. How do you educate yourself? Right. You're doing it now. Number one, you can go out to YouTube. You can go get a formal education. You can go to school, and do that. 3, you can look for mentors and coaches who maybe have done some things that you haven't been able to accomplish yet in life, and ask them how they did it and see if they can help you to figure out how to get from your point A to your point B as far as where you're trying to go. You can read books. There's all kinds of books. If you don't like to read books, listen to audiobooks. Like when you're in the car every day on your way to work, why not turn on the audiobook and listen? And you'd be surprised what you can learn just by listening in those few minutes in your commute to work, right? So there's so many different ways. I can go on and on. Of course, the library, right? You got free books in the library that you can go check out, right? There's all kinds of different things you can do. But the thing that you have to do is take action on educating yourself, because you're not going to get any better if you don't go out here and learn and get the education and figure out, what exactly is going on around you. Most people are intimidated by money. They're intimidated by finances. So what do? They avoid it, right? They don't want to talk about it. They don't want to deal with it. All they know is, hey, my bank account is not where it needs to be and I don't like it. So I'm just going to avoid it, right? I'm going to close my eyes and hope that it just fixes itself, right? And it's not going to fix itself. You're going to have to go out and learn. You're going to have to figure that out, and then you can move forward. The next step number 4 is you got to set clear financial goals, right? You got to actually sit down and define what is it you want to accomplish with your finances. What do you really want to do? What is your end game? Like where do you want to really take it? Like, we can, at the end of the day, our finances are only going to go as far as we plan for them to go, right? So we got to sit down and do things that, may not be fun to do, but we got to sit down and do a budget, right? A budget is nothing more than a plan for your money. That means you're sitting down looking at how much money I got coming in versus how much money I got going out, and where are all the places that my money is going. Do I have any money left over at the end of the month? If I do, what can I do with that money? If I don't, how can I go out and make some more income, right? If you're not looking at it, you don't even ask yourself those questions. You can't even think clear enough to figure out, hey, I need to make some changes because my budget is not my plan is not working, right? I need to adjust, right? So start with actually setting some goals and making those plans for your money on a regular basis. Step number 5, we got to start practicing gratitude, right? No matter what your situation currently is, trust me, there's somebody out there that's in a worse situation than you. So you got to be thankful for what you currently have, what's currently going on. You hate that job, but be thankful for that job right now because it's providing you a stream of income. You don't like, where you live at right now, but be thankful for that roof over your head because some people don't have shelter. So you got to think of it like that. Start being grateful and thankful and practice gratitude on a daily basis. Wake up in the morning and say 3 things that you're grateful for, and you're just going to be surprised at how that changes your energy on a daily basis. When you walk out, and you don't necessarily want to go do what you got to do, but hey, I'm thankful for it, man. I'm thankful for this job. I'm thankful for this car that, barely is getting me down the street. Whatever the case is, be thankful for it, because we got to be thankful for what we have right now if we ever expect to receive any more, right? That it makes you appreciate things, and it also lets you know that you can, and there is abundance out there for you, but you got to be ready to receive it, right? Step number 6, you got to surround yourself with positivity. Like that's a big one right there. Like, who's in your circle? Who are you talking to every day? What type of energy are you getting? How are you starting your mornings? Like, what are you feeding your brain on a daily basis? Like, are you sitting there listening to gossip, listening to negative comments and negative talk as the first thing you do when you roll out of bed? Or are you actually doing something positive, meditating or thinking of positive things, or reading something that's positive, or listening to a positive podcast? Like, there can be all kind of different things you can do. But at the end of the day, you want to make sure that you are surrounding yourself with positivity. The people that are around you, like if you got people that are always negative and trying to bring you into their pity party, I don't care if they're family, friends, loved ones, whoever they are, you got to get them out your circle and get them out the way. If they're always bringing negativity your way, you got to do what you need to do to protect your peace and what you're doing, and make sure that you're by any means necessary when you're moving forward, that you're putting yourself in a position to be positive for the day. Because when you're positive and you got that positive energy out there, positive energy out, you know what it's got to do? The law of the universe, right? If you put that positive energy out, at some point in time, it's got to come back. That's just how the universe works, right? So the more positive energy and positive vibes we can put out, the more positive energy has to return to us at some point in time. It has to. It may not happen on your timetable and your schedule, but at some point in time, it's got to come back to you, because that's how the universe works. There's laws out here of nature, and that's how it works. Out, in, got to come back. Look at a coin. There's 2 sides all the time. There's always, if there's a bad side to the story, there's a good side to the story. There's always a flip side. The question is, what do you got to do to get from the bad side over to the good side, right? So think about that. Stay positive. And the last step, number 7, you got to practice mindfulness and visualization. What I mean by that is, be very intentional about what you're doing in your words and what you're putting out into the air, right? So, start doing some simple things. Like, you can literally come up with a mantra or 3 different things that you tell yourself on a daily basis. Put it on a Post-it note, put it on your mirror, look at it. And when you say it as if it's happening right now. Say, I am wealthy. I have great credit. Say, I have a large bank account. Be very specific. Get even more specific. Say, I have a certain number in my bank account, right? I have this career opportunity that I know I'm going to be, that I'm already there. You there, as soon as you say it, it's already done, right? So you got to put that energy out into the air and say it. And also, you got to visualize it. So spend some time actually meditating. Like, this may sound like some kooky stuff, fluffy stuff, right? But trust me, it works. Sit there and actually visualize yourself in the state that you want to be in, right? See yourself in that state every day. Put that image in your brain. Let it sink in your brain. Let it burn into your brain, right? Because at some point, the more you think about it, the more you visualize it. The funny thing is, you're going to start taking action towards making it happen. All right, I hope this helps. But again, man, thank y'all for listening. Subscribe, share this, invite other folks to the channel, man. We're trying to grow. We're going to master this money game together. Hit that subscribe button on the way out, and I'll talk to you soon.